This episode is brought to you by frequent distractions.
Ooh.
Are you tired of sitting through an entire recording of your podcast that you have to record on a weekly basis? Get a dog. And you'll never make it through a full episode ever again.
Of anything.
And without further ado, it's time. Oh, we're not evenly spaced at all. SMSoup. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SMSoup, the #1 podcast with soup in the name, but not on the brain. I'm Spencer.
And I'm Shelby.
And Shelby is here to take you on a journey, along with me, Spencer, through life's biggest questions, like, waiter, how is this soup made? Shelby.
Yeah.
How are you? Were you not ready?
I'm ready.
You weren't ready.
I'm ready.
You weren't
I did not
ready.
realize you were recording, I will be honest.
But you weren't ready for all
of that? No. Most intros.
You can't handle all of this.
That's correct. Most intros, I think I sit here nervously waiting. Like, what's going to happen next? Oh, we had a milady sighting.
Oh.
And you are destroying the camera focus. Oh, beautiful in the middle.
What a cutie.
Wow. In case you didn't listen to last week's episode, which is totally valid, we got a dog.
You probably didn't.
We got a dog. It's literally titled We Got a Dog. We go over some of the story. Again, if anyone's an audio listener and you want to know roughly what she looks like, Google Carolina dog. And that's basically what she looks like. She is 6-month-old, chaos. And that is all there is to say, honestly. Chaos. But she's adorable. As of recording this, we're just under a week in. Spencer, any fun updates? Being a week in you are destroying the camera focus.
I'm not doing shit.
Week's been good, right?
Yeah, it's been all right. I think better than what most people would anticipate with getting a puppy.
Yeah. Our normal things, basically every sound you're turning your head because you're like, what just happened? But yeah, again, that's really any like young animal, so.
Yeah. I'm on high alert.
I know. It's really giving me a new sense of respect, though, that I can almost completely trust our cat Grogu because I know what he's going to get into. It has given me a newfound respect for that because I'm like, wow, we can just kind of let our cat go. We know the few things he'll get into, and those few things are things that won't hurt him. It'll just cause a mess, but he'll be fine. And it took us quite a while to figure out that minefield. And now here we are doing it all over again.
Yeah, she's on her bed, so we should be good, hopefully, to get this going. But if I hear the pitter-patter.
Yeah. All right, Spencer, how are you doing?
Did you even say how you're doing?
I mean, I'm good. I'm fine. No complaints.
I'm good. I'm fine. No complaints.
It feels like my life has revolved around nothing else other than this dog.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I believe you have a job.
So do you?
And but hang on. And you left me on Tuesday to be a single father of 2.
I know.
And 1, it's fine. I was swimming in it. Thanks for asking. Because everybody, especially women, pity a single father, especially if they have 2 kids.
Okay.
So I was swimming in it, if you get what I'm saying. If you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Sure. In the one day you were left alone,
dude,
you were already swimming in it.
No less than 14.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know. 14 people texted me apologizing. So I was swimming in apologies. What did you think I was swimming in?
How was your day alone?
Awful. It sucked.
I actually did feel really bad. Because I fully believed it was chaos.
It was chaos, but it was all right.
Yeah, the fun parts of having animals.
What are we doing today?
Today, we are looking at really stupid things that have been put in newspapers, which I know you're like, so anything? Maybe.
Well, wrap it up. We're done.
No, so I was, whatever, diving around looking for ideas of silly shit to do. And I stumbled upon an article from the 70s, from I think it was like 73. Yeah. It was the Daily Times, published in Burlington, North Carolina, from January 31st, 1973. And it was a double spread of did I say magazine or newspaper?
You said newspaper.
Okay, and just in case I said magazine, I meant newspaper. This is a very newspaper focused episode, very topical.
Very relevant.
Yeah. This spread from the 70s was saying basically, aren't classified ads the greatest? Classified ads have become a staple in everyone's lives because, wow, every choice you make, which they say choice, purchase, comes from a classified ad because, it's the time of, shit gets mailed to your house and now you're looking at all these advertisements and everything. And they're like, wow, the choices you can make from the comfort of your home and it's all just given to you. Mm-hmm. Wow. And it was really funny and ridiculous. And I thought it'd be fun to Google a few very random classified ads and try, and they're really short. These are the things that like people could submit in case you like don't know that. These are the parts that like someone could be like, hey, I really need someone to do this job for me. Hey, I really need I'm looking for this thing. Does anyone have one? Or I'm selling this. Does anyone want it? That's like, to my understanding, a classified ad is like the random person can put this in, pay so much to get it put in. So yeah, these are just ridiculous, which I'm just like, the thing that cracks me up about these are all really short, but I just want to know how often they worked. Like, I wish there was a stat that could tell us the success rate of classified ads, which there's probably not, but like somehow, like how many classified ads were responded to? Like, I'm guessing a decent amount if people kept doing them. What?
Is it blurry?
It keeps like going in and out. I'm telling you were like breaking the focus.
Well, now it's just broken in.
Great. Now we have no camera. That's better. So, this is on The Observer, specifically from the archives, The Lost Art of the Classified Ad. So this is specifically, what's up?
I will never not think about when it comes to stuff like this, and I'm guessing you said you might touch on it with like Craigslist and stuff. Yeah. Effectively, I'll never not think of Horrible Bosses, Men Seeking Men, wet work, because they think wet work is a different term for assassinate.
Yes.
And it's just a dude who's going to pee on them.
I totally forgot about that, but that is very funny. Yes. Also, to me anymore, Craigslist just gives off, if you see something ridiculous, eventually this is going to end up in like some kind of crazy documentary. Like, that's all I can think now when I see really weird Craigslist stuff.
Sure.
But yeah. All right. I'll try to read the date if it has it. Because I think that gives it a good context of how ridiculous some of these are. From 1985, an orthodontics retainer found in admin building. If it fits you, it's yours. Call Brian to claim. And then there's a number there. Like, I'm just like, what retainer that you find? Like, is it that important to let the person know? Like, I guess, like, probably one, yes, because the ownership of a thing was probably a much bigger deal. Was almost definitely a much bigger deal than it is now. You're not just going to go and get another retainer unless you, like, got the muns. But it's like, was ownership of things that big that you were like, oh my God, I must find the owner of this? Orthodontic retainer.
What?
Yeah, it says specifically, oh my gosh, it went away. Specifically Notre Dame students. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it back up. My notes being dumb.
I don't know. if this is like such a novel new idea, but the invention of the lost and found. And it's
Right,
like, if
right.
it's yours, you will show up for it.
Right.
And like a retainer especially is like pretty obvious.
Right.
Like, hey, do you have my retainer? Nobody's randomly going to be asking that, you know?
You don't think so?
Nobody's going to be trying to pull a fast one on you. Like, I think that stuff is like, I also think about that often, where like you go to the lost and found and you're like, hey, I lost this. And they like make you describe it
Yeah.
to like prove ownership.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
You're like,
what?
is anyone else coming for that?
Yeah, what?
Yeah. Sorry, they also attached, I'm assuming this was in the same like paper that they would have used, students. And it says found. This is also from 1985, but later that year. Found orthodontic retainers, in parentheses, yuck, and various single earrings. If your overbite is getting a little obvious or if an earlobe feels unduly exposed, claim these articles at the lost and found, second floor.
Again, just so bizarre that like you would need to like call attention to get somebody to come get it.
Yeah.
Like there, it feels like you're asking for somebody to like wrongfully
Show
claim.
up and just say it's theirs.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't even give somebody that opportunity. You let people know where the lost and found is.
Sure.
And if you lose something and you want to go found it, you go to the lost and found, right?
Whoa.
And you ask for your item. And if it's there, fantastic. And if it hasn't made its way there yet, you drop them your number and say, hey, if somebody turns it in, let me know. So on and so forth. This like, those right there already just give me that unfucking believable feeling of dread of people responding to to questions on Amazon.
Yeah.
That are like, will this fit in my backyard? I don't know. I didn't buy one. Fuck out of here. You boomer piece of shit. What are you doing? Erase yourself from the internet. This isn't for you. Move on.
Yeah, I really hate it. I want to know the success rate of these.
Like putting that especially putting that out there is just like you literally just want to yap. You just want to yap to yap.
Can it be like I now want like a silly, I'll say sitcom or something where it's like every episode's someone responding to this outrageous classified ad. Like I want it to be old timey and I want it to just be like you're reading the daily.
That's people
That's
responding
honestly
to
true.
classified ads left and right.
That's true. I mean more like you're in the perspective of this guy who like is just waking up, reading the paper in the morning, and he's like, I must go do this because he sees a classified ad.
So you want to watch the sad sap
Yeah.
who responds to Nathan's ads.
Yeah, but is like excited about it. I don't want it to feel
sad sap.
I don't want it to feel dreadful.
Well, it'll be from their perspective, so you won't understand that they're somewhat in the joke.
They're being
without
made fun
realizing.
of.
No,
Yeah.
they're not really being made fun of. They're just like they're putting themselves in the position of being a part of the joke, but having no understanding of the joke at hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
What
my
is that?
request
What's
for a
that
show.
called?
What's what called?
Never mind.
I don't know. Ignorance is bliss.
Joke collateral damage.
Yeah. All right. Next one, 1975. I think if I'm reading correctly, these all came from some Notre Dame paper. So that might explain, not to be an ass, but it might explain some of it that like students were putting some of these in, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this one, wanted, experienced arm wrestler, must have 16-inch biceps or more. I'm Mary. Please give 16 and a half hours notice.
Is there a way to contact?
Nope. Just you're gonna tell Mary. You're gonna have to give Mary 16 and a half hours notice. I guess that you're contacting her. I don't know what the notice is. That you're coming over.
The notice to me makes it seem like sexual.
I know, right? Let me prepare. I need 16 and a half hours.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Just to be clear, there's literally a half after the 16.
I'm just trying to figure out where being a professional arm wrestler factors into something sexually.
I know, right?
Like, yeah, maybe they can like
Maybe
toss you around.
Maybe
a
she
little
just
bit.
wants a really good back rub and only can trust it from a muscly guy.
Right, but to call it specifically arm wrestler, you know
And
what?
bicep size.
I know we're getting dumber, but we clearly started to like peak at some point. Like, so the 70s and 80s were clearly on the up and up.
Yeah.
And so so everybody born in probably like the 90s is probably where the highest IQ people are, if I
You
had
think
to
so?
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all the people I know who were born in the 90s, present company excluded, are really smart.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody I know born outside of the 90s, case in point, your sister,
Right.
dumb as hell.
Listed in 1979 in all caps. Please help. Desperately need 3 Billy Joel tickets.
Okay.
Dan.
Okay.
That's honestly fair.
That one's not even
That's
that,
like
that
literally
one's not funny.
That's
That one's
someone
just-
going to Facebook and being
Yeah.
like, does anyone have any tickets they're willing to sell
Yeah,
me?
it's a long shot.
It's a
I'll
long
say.
shot, yeah.
But what's crazy is, and what makes me irate is that those tickets probably only cost like $5.
Yeah, but that was probably
fuck
like
you, Dan.
no,
don't even. Don't even. You're wrong.
I know.
Dan could have gone and picked up a random hour shift at the grocery store, and he would have made enough money to buy his Billy Joel ticket and not need to go back to work ever again.
I can't remember
Like, could retire off of that 1 hour of work.
I can't remember what that 70s show, what they say that the main character makes at Price Mart. I can't remember.
I remember
I'm
$1.25.
blanking. Yeah, I think that's right. Something like that. It's definitely less than like $3.
Yeah.
God, this is kind of freaking me out actually.
Shelby,
I'm looking
I'm
for
pretty
you.
sure I talked to you at a party last night. Please call Spencer.
It says, "Are you a man? What you've got is what I want. What I've got is what you need. Get your yayas. Call Meme or Mimi,
How's it spelled?
M-E-M-E.
Hi, Mimi.
Right? Also, they literally just put, I'm assuming like it was probably like dorm extensions. There's just like 4 digits here.
Yeah.
So it was probably like, because most dorms sometimes still comes with cell phones. Not cell phones, like
Yep. Nope, you had it.
phones.
Landlines.
Landlines,
Yeah.
thank you. So it's just like 4
Do
digits.
still come with landlines.
Really?
When my brother went to college.
Did yours?
Did yours?
Freshman year, mine did.
You had a phone.
I did. And we unplugged it because we were really freaked out by it. We had a landline in each of our. Well, not a landline. Yeah, a landline. It was like on the cube thingy.
Do you know what phones are?
Never seen one.
You were born less.
Yeah, but
Less
like you
than 6
said,
months after me.
company excluded. Most people you know from the 90s are smart.
So we're I know, like, well, some people say, but like, I feel like we both grew up, especially with where we grew up, and shit took forever to be new there.
Right.
I feel like you should know what a goddamn landline is. Your house had to have had a landline.
It did.
You know that, like, the phones that are like wireless.
Yeah.
And they're like a
An antenna phone.
no, well, yeah, but no, they're just like plastic.
Yeah.
And they're basically a flip phone, but just solid, no flip.
Yeah.
You know those phones?
Yeah.
That's still a landline.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, my freshman year dorm.
But if it has the cord,
yeah.
and then you pop it back on the
Yeah.
thing, like in hotels,
Yeah.
that's a landline.
That's what my freshman year of college had.
The ones that are on the wall and you
Mhm.
rotate the dial, a rotary phone, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? It's a landline. I could be saying shit that's wrong technically for all I know.
No, you would never.
But that's crazy. No, I didn't have one. But I bet my dorm freshman year had a spot where one used to be.
Yeah, probably.
For sure.
They probably all had the little hole somewhere.
I'll show you a little
And we
hole.
were like, is that where the Ethernet goes?
Yeah, probably.
And all our parents were like, you idiots.
My brother had a landline, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I didn't know anyone who used it.
Which my brother is 5 years older than me.
Yeah, he's ancient.
For context.
Right.
So like that's how fast technology moves.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Pretty sure he had a landline.
Wouldn't shock me. Last one from specifically The Observer. Someone literally just put in here, bonehead.
Wait, real quick though.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Okay.
To that last one.
Okay.
Get your yayas. Is that what people used to call like get your rocks off?
I don't know. Can't say I'm well versed in all of the terminology.
No shit. You fucking virgin.
So
that's crazy.
That's how that reads to me.
You're terminally horny if you put, and I don't mean any disrespect in what I'm about to say. Get your yayas however you need to get your yayas. All I'm saying is you are terminally horny if you put a request out in a classified section. And listen, people need to find their people. I don't care, right? Like, that's great.
Right.
But if that's what you're resorting to, you are fucking horny.
Horny,
dude.
Yeah. I mean,
you're floating it out there. Like Tinder, right? Is like as close as you can get without just like really just throwing the message out there and letting anybody, come back.
Right.
Tinder, there's like we both need to agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I know they kind of made a note where they were like, the 1970s saw many hopeful students solicit companionship of all kinds through The Observer. While the outcomes of such efforts are unclear, the boldness of Notre Dame students is unmistakable. So I'm sure there were some crazy other ones that were put in there. I feel like people were like, whatever. Who cares?
Are you a man looking for professional arm wrestler with 16-inch python?
I love how they say
biceps.
I love how they but after that they put, or bigger. Bigger is fine. Doesn't have to be 16. I don't want to be crazy.
Yeah, I got to put it in a floor. But shoot for the moon.
They said they made a note that they found a handful of insults posted, like whether it was from a fallout, a breakup, whatever. And I wanted to read two of them really quick. First one was, I think I shall never see a girl as heinous as you, D.
Call out the person, though. Or is D the
I'm
person?
assuming D's the person. It's D-E-E.
Oh.
And I think they rhymed it a little bit.
I thought it was...
I think that I shall never see a girl as heinous as you, D.
Wow. Good for them.
And then the other one, not nearly as whimsical. Bonehead. May a diseased aardvark sit on your face. LJ. They signed it. They wanted you to know who it was from. And only Bonehead would know who it's to.
Listen here, you fucking bonehead. That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? I mean, I guess we're sitting here saying that's wild, and the shit people will post online about each other is really messed up. So what do we have to say? Anything, right?
Yeah. No, you're right. I guess there's just something so uniquely intimate about
you paid money, I'm assuming, to put that in there.
I mean, there's people who pay money for Twitter, so.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
There's just something so weirdly intimate about legacy media, like newspapers,
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
And especially around community and stuff like that. And as we've talked about in the past, dude, fucking the way population has boomed, right? Just communities and everything in general were more intimate because there's just a lot more freedom and movement and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now we're all just packed in like a bunch of sardines.
Well, I think you also just actually
we had to live through a pandemic, and so now we're scared of each other.
Well, I think in general you just actually interacted with people during that time.
But especially to write something for college kids,
yeah.
something that's so tightly knit is pretty wild to think about.
Right.
But you're right. People post worse.
Yeah.
Easily on the internet, which is
messed up.
Global. So
yeah. This other one's from 11points.com, and these are just kind of a mix of ads and really weird stuff that was put in. This one says, and they don't put the years, unfortunately, so I can't tell. These don't look as old, but surgeon wanted for a new health clinic opening in the area. No experience needed. Must have own tools.
And we have no idea where that publication is from.
No, they didn't really.
That
They didn't really track down the original ones. Or at least they didn't say it.
That sounds like a mafia.
You think so? You think it was like that obvious? Like that? Like we were gonna do some messed up shit?
You have to have your own tools. It sounds like you're gonna be a made man. You have to have your own tools. You don't really need experience, but like you need to be one, like accredited almost, right? And as long as you have your own tools, we're gonna come to you each time we have a gunshot wound, and you have to patch us up.
Yeah,
That's kind of how it reads.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's interesting. And yeah, I could see the mob and the mafia being so brazen to just put that out there.
And be like, "What? We're looking for a surgeon."
They're untouchable,
right? We're just looking for a surgeon.
In the pocket of like most like
government officials. Yeah. Another wanted ad. Looking for someone to do yard work. Must have hula hoop. Which is right above.
What?
Which is right above. Looking for elderly voiceover actor. Bad knee. Wants impressive cane and/or walking stick.
Why is that necessary for voiceover?
Elderly voiceover actor. Bad knee. Wants impressive cane and/or walking stick. I have no idea. Are they saying the elderly voiceover actor's looking for a good walking stick?
Or that's what you're going to have to like read. Like you're
gonna have to read like you're in pain.
For.
Yeah, like that's the scenario. Yeah, bad knee wants impressive.
Radio, like I've had bad knees for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
But once I got the Rockefeller 3000 cane,
right,
my knees have been brand new. Must have a hula hoop. What are we doing?
So this one looks pretty old. Wanted. Someone to go back in time with me. This is not a joke. And then they put their whole address. You'll get paid after we get back. Must bring your own weapons. Safety not guaranteed. I have only done this once before. I like to imagine that address had a line out the door.
What do you think they did?
Where do you think they went?
Yeah.
Back in time.
If you could go back in time, where would you go?
I don't know.
If you could go forward in time, where would you go?
Oh God, I don't think I want to go forward. I think I'd exclusively want to go back. Would you want to go forward? I don't know if I could.
I'd probably want to go back to like.
Honestly, I would want to see my parents when they were like teenagers and or young 20-year-olds, just so I can be like
Back to the Future.
Kinda. Any dirt they can like act like they are gonna yell at me about, I can be like, well, actually, I know you. I know you better than you'll ever want to admit. That's what I would want to do. Or yeah, no, that's good for me. I think anything earlier than that, I'm just like, something's gonna go wrong, you know?
I'd probably want to go back to like 17, like the 1790s America.
All right.
I can't think of anything that was like wrong back then.
Sure.
Maybe even like early 1800s. Put me in like Southern America, because I think that's what we need to get back to. When times were just simpler, everybody was equal, literally no issues. And I can't think of any negative past that could potentially have been relevant to America. So probably the safest time to be around as well. I often think about that. If I were to go back in time, like, would I was joking. I was joking in case that it was definitely not clear. I was joking. And Shelby didn't say anything to help me. So she really just let me keep going, which is fucking insane. I often think about that. Like, if I could go back in time and like have today's knowledge, you know, would I know to bet on that crazy underdog and make a fuck ton of money? Would I do that? Would I like?
Well, I guess what would you win? Like, would you win that time's money and then get to move forward and like have it be the value of today's money? You know what I mean?
I would make all
Like,
that
does
money.
that actually pan out?
I'd make all that money and then I'd burn it.
Whoa.
And then I would come back to current times and we would be, because all that money was burned, there would be no solid distribution of wealth current day like there is right now.
Right.
So like minimum wage would probably be stagnant and like not go up.
Yeah.
And like the average American would probably only be making like $30,000, which is like barely enough to live and scrape by. Because I think when we were in high school, $30,000 was like said to be like the minimum you needed to live, like the minimum cost of living, which $7.25 an hour doesn't get you. Yeah, so I'd probably like cause like all kinds of things to be messed up, and like it would probably also lead to a lot of people like hoarding ownership over land and like property. There would probably be a big race for that. And I would probably cause that. So I guess I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't want to mess up what we have right now. Or like, you know, like would I go and like beat up Rivers Cuomo before he's able to start Weezer so that I could start Weezer?
Would you want that? Would you want to be that person?
Would I want to be Brendan Urie? I don't know, maybe.
Sure, maybe. What if?
I don't know. Like I think about that. Like the movie Yesterday.
Yeah.
I would do that. And I wouldn't feel bad for it. I'd go talk to living John Lennon. And be like, hey, what do you think about this? Well, like, hypothetically.
What if yesterday didn't seem so far away?
Hey, hypothetically, could you imagine? Get it?
I get it.
Get it?
I get it.
Because John Lennon sings the song Imagine.
What?
Or maybe I'd like go back in time and join Oasis and keep them together so that they could actually be the next Beatles.
You'd be the glue.
I'd be the glue. I'm much like I am.
Would you want to ever go in the future?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to know.
I kind of want to like go like 400 years into the future.
Okay.
That way I can just be floating in the void.
Sure. I hear that.
Because it's all going to be gone by then.
Right.
No, like I would want to go into the future just so that I could probably feel better about the fact that we're only where we're at now.
I like that. Would you want to go like, you know, like minimum like 50 years in the future?
I would want to go further.
Okay.
I'd want to go like 100.
Honestly, I would low-key want to go like 5 and just see. But I think that would really fuck with me.
That's so
because then if you know what's so close in the future, you're like, this all sucks.
Yeah, I'd want to go 100 years or so.
Okay.
And see how nothing has progressed.
Sure.
Because I think that's like my biggest fear. That like it's not my biggest fear. It's what ties into like my reason for not wanting to die.
Okay.
Which is like FOMO.
All right. Yeah.
Like think about the sad sack of shit who died before the internet. The internet's a terrible place.
Dude,
but also there's so much great stuff on the internet.
I know this isn't the same at all, what I'm about to say. You hate when almost every single time we watch a movie and something fucking awful is happening and then it stops, I go, can you imagine having been the last guy who died before it stopped? I say that in almost anything we watch. Like it'll be like giant war scene. Okay, literally Avengers, what is it? Endgame. Or Infinity War. It doesn't matter. They're all fighting. And literally it's like everything stops because like Thanos has been apprehended. Can you imagine having been the last sack of shit who died and missed out on that?
You have never raised this. Like you're saying
that's
like
absolutely not
World
true.
War II.
Yeah.
Hitler shoots you, then decides he's killing himself.
Yeah. You're the
last. Could you imagine you were the person who was shot last by Hitler?
Yeah.
You have never raised that.
That's insane.
You have not.
I'm so offended right now.
No.
2 things I love to point out. That, which I will admit I don't point out as often as this next thing. Whenever I go, wow, can you imagine the animators who had to stare at this horrible thing for hours on hours in order to get it right in an animation?
What are you talking about?
Are you fucking with me?
No. What are you on about?
If we're like watching something, I'll be like, wow, can you imagine?
I cannot stand when You do not have an example locked and loaded.
Because we haven't watched an
for when
animation
you've
in a
done-
while that I can
we
think
just
of
watched
this.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah, but
When did
I
you
don't.
do an Attack on
I don't
Titan?
think I said anything in Attack on Titan.
You just also got done saying that you do it way more often than the other thing. Do you understand why I'm now sitting here going, you never do this? Because you clearly never do this. Because if you do can you imagine being the last person before said thing, blah, 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 less than you do animation, and we just watched Attack on Titan and you didn't do it during that? Then you must not have done this in years. And your fucked up brain that thinks everything happened 3 weeks ago is at it again, and it is ruining our marriage. I wish I was fucking with you, Shelby. I legitimately have no idea what you're fucking on about. But I love it. We should definitely go through that more. And you're saying I hate it, apparently, but I don't anymore, if that was the case. I now love it.
We should go through what?
This thought exercise of like, could you imagine if you were that last person?
I mean, it would just suck.
Actually, no. That's not a fun...
That's
not
not
a fun
fun.
exercise.
No, because you're dead.
Yeah.
They have FOMO.
No, I do hate that. Much like I hate the thought of missing out on something. Like if I get 100 years into the future, right?
Sure.
Flying cars, right?
Yeah.
'Cause flying cars are always right around the corner.
Sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right. But let's say I get there, flying cars. I'm pulling somebody and going, "You there, boy? What year is it?" Which is a crazy
Why do you
question.
now talk like an old
Which is
Englishman?
a crazy question because obviously I'll know what year it is. I chose the year. It's 100 years from now. But I'm going to grab somebody and be like, I'm having this argument. When did flying cars become a thing?
Right.
And then they'll be like, 2100. And right then and there, I'll kill myself.
You won't know if you make it or not.
To 2100?
Maybe.
You're right. I need to find somebody old and be like, how old are you? And they'll be like, 250. I'll be like, I got a chance. And it's actually me. But I wouldn't be 250 in the year 21. Whatever. Would I?
Don't
No.
ask me.
250 from... No, duh. I was born in
Duh.
96. What's 2,000 plus 250?
2050?
2,250, yeah.
I said 2050.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, right? I hope I make it to 2050 when
Sure.
something cool happens, but nothing cool will happen.
I think that will be the year Weezer comes out with a new album. Album number 50 in 2050. They're going to be
on that
250 performing it. Honestly, I was going to read some dumb Craigslist things, but they're not as fun, in my opinion, as the
I feel
the
like
classified.
I feel like not to jerk my old gherkin,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think I did a pretty good job
You think so?
of it's been a while since I've been that good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I did a good job.
All right. Well, hey, I'm proud of you.
You don't think so?
No, I think you did.
I think I perfectly derailed us
Yeah.
into a nice little tangent.
Yeah.
And now we can go home happy.
Yeah. Everyone can go home happy.
No, we can.
Everyone
Anybody who's listening
can
to this
go
is
home
not
happy.
Anybody who's listening to this, I'm sorry. You are, without a doubt, so fucking horny. You are an unbelievable level of horny if you're listening to this right now. Think about putting something out in like the classifieds looking for sex, and then think about the sad sack of shit who's listening to this right now.
Wouldn't want to be them.
Wouldn't want to be them. I mean,
But,
there's a reason.
but if I was them,
There's a reason I don't listen to this. Because I'm barren.
if I was them, I would follow SMSoup podcast on Instagram and TikTok. You can also find our socials in the description. SMSoup podcast is on all streaming services as well as YouTube at SMSoup podcast. Until next week, stay horny.
Do you know that it's on every streaming service?
I'm just hoping for the best.
I think it's probably
Like
on most of them.
probably.
But it might not be on all of them.
I don't know, I mean, you know.
But guess what? If somebody listens to podcasts on a platform that this isn't on, they can't fucking tell us.
Exactly.
They can't hurt us.
Exactly.
So I don't know why we even tell people where they can listen to it. during the podcast.
Just in case.
Because
if they're listening
to
on
it.
something and they're like, I prefer YouTube. Or vice versa. That's why I say it.
That's so smart.
Oh my God, I'm done.
You're dumb.